Hi and welcome to Polly Puts the Colour On. In this video I'm going to be sharing all of my completed colouring pages for the month of October. I know this is my favourite video to watch on other people's channels each month, and it's my favourite to record as well. As you can see, I've got quite a variety. I've got Japanese colouring books, cute and cosy, Hanna Karlzon, all sorts. So let me get them moved out of the way and then I can share just a few stats at the start before we get into the completed pages. So initially I thought I wasn't going to get that much done in October, and actually it kind of all came together in the end. And even though I've bought a few books, my uncoloured books has still gone down a little bit, so I'm really pleased about that. So I thought with buying a few, I thought, oh gosh, it's not going to be any lower at the end of the month, but actually it has, because I've managed to colour in 8 uncoloured books. So even though I've bought a few, still making progress on getting that list down. So I've done 13 buddy colours, 1 prompt this month. So yeah, a lot of buddy colours. I'm not sure as I'd take on that many in a month again. So I was getting a little bit worried towards the end of the month that I wouldn't get them all done, but somehow, thankfully, didn't manage to let anybody down. I did manage to get them all done apart from one, but my buddy also didn't get their page done, so we're going to rearrange something, so that's fine. So I've done 19 pages in 16 books, so we did do a couple of pages in some books. Like I say, my uncoloured books has gone down a little bit. Instagram, I've got 138 new friends on there, and on YouTube 132 new friends. So thank you if you're new. It's very much appreciated when you hit that subscribe button. Now I am recording this a little bit before the end of the month, only on the 30th. So if I do complete any more pages this month, I'll just add them into November statistics. Because I'm just not going to have time to wait and record this like on the 1st of November. Time's not on my side. Not enough hours in the day, is there? So my first buddy colour is out of this one. Now don't worry, we didn't do a particularly gory page at all. The page that we did was just the title page, so it's quite a simple one, but I was really pleased to get a page completed in this book this month, because it's kind of one of my unofficial kind of project books. I've kind of got Ivy and the Inky Butterfly as well. They're both books I would like to complete at some point, but you know, I don't set myself any targets on how many pages to do. But I was really pleased to get one done. So I used an inktense base and then shaded with some Castle Art gold pencils just to deepen it up here and there. Obviously a little bit of white gel pen and then a washi tape border. Was umming and ahhing over whether to do anything in the background, and then I thought, no, actually let's keep it nice and crisp and simple. So my buddy was with somebody on Instagram, King Sharon 9. I'll insert their picture here. They kind of went for a similar vibe in trying to keep, you know, the background kind of pretty crisp and clean. But I absolutely love what they did with their bow. I think it turned out gorgeous. So thank you very much for the buddy. I'm really pleased to get a page done in that this month. So that was Alan Roberts' Beauty of Horror, Guliana's Sanctuary for Monsters. I will link as many people as I can down in the description, in case you want to check out their Instagram or their YouTube channels. And I'll also link as many books as I can, in case you're after purchasing any. So this was one of my uncoloured books, Creepy Kawaii Halloween. I picked this one up in the summer while I was on holiday in America. And I did this page. So I did do this on a live stream, did check with my buddy, they were happy for me to do that, so that was really helpful actually, because then that just made it a little bit easier fitting in getting this done. So I just used my Ohuhu Honolulu markers for everything, bit of white gel pen and a silver one for the mouse's whiskers. Started with a really limited colour palette, then I was struggling a bit, and somebody on the live stream suggested adding the green, and I'm really glad they did, because yeah, I was getting a bit stuck on what colours to put where. The colour palette I'd gone for was just a little bit too limited, and then added the weird glow behind it. I don't know, tried something a little bit different. I do absolutely love my buddy's page. Theirs turned out so beautiful. So my buddy was with Hollyberry Crafts and Colours over on Instagram. I'll put their picture in here. I think their page turned out better than mine. I absolutely love the colour palette that they went for. I think it just looks so sweet, so cute, so Halloweeny. it looks wonderful. But that's the good thing about Buddy Colours, just how differently two pages can end up being, even though they both start out the same. So thank you very much for that, Buddy. Then another buddy I did was in Cozy Japan, and again this was another one that was done on a live stream. Again, my buddy was happy for me to do that, so that was really helpful for getting a page, fit in. And this was another one that was an uncoloured book. And I really love how this turned out. Use my Ohuhu Honolulu markers again. I did a little bit of a glow effect coming from kind of the windows and the doors and the little lamp, and then tried to add a bit of a pattern into the water. It's not the best, but it's kind of one of the few times I've tried doing that with the water. I did a little bit of a pattern onto their clothing. I just really love how it turned out. I think it's just so pretty. Really gentle colours, and it was a lot of fun to do. So my buddy was with Kim over on Instagram. I think their handle is I and my pets 2, I believe. I can't read my own writing. Yeah. And their page I'll insert here. They went very different from me. A lot of sparkle, a lot of glitter gel pen. And again, I just love how it turned out. And it's just so great how two pages start out the same and end up finishing looking so very different, but both really cool. So thank you very much for the buddy. I know that's not our first buddy, and I'm sure it won't be our last. So then I've got a buddy in Hanna Karlzon's Tales from the Witch's Cottage, and that was this page here. So I used Inktense pencils to base everything. Went in with a little bit of Castle Art gold pencils, just here and there for a tiny bit of shading, and then a lot of glitter gel pen. And I even went over all the lines on kind of this potiony, dragony, swirly bit with my Languo gel pens, because I just thought the black lines just, I don't know, didn't quite fit with it, but I didn't want to do loads of shading. So I thought, right, if I just pick a few gel pens that are similar, hopefully that'll do the trick. And I'm really pleased actually with how it turned out. I couldn't decide what to do for a background, so I decided I wasn't going to do a background. I'll just leave it as it is. And yeah, just really pleased with it. The shiny paint that you can see here, like the rose gold colour, that's a KJ Designs paint over on Etsy, and I'll insert my buddies page here, the wonderful Alison at Alison's Colouring and Creativity over on YouTube. Check her channel out if you don't already follow her. She's so sweet. And her page, she got hers done before me. She was very patient with me, and I love the colours that she went for, and I love the fact that she added a background in. I think it just really sets it off. And yeah, again, 2 pages starting out the same, turning out so very differently. So thank you very much for the buddy, Alison. I think your page looks great. And then we've got another Hanna Karlzon one. Really pleased actually that I got quite a few Hanna Karlzon pages done this month, because I've not coloured in her books much for a while, so I was really pleased to get that done. So the page that we did was this troll page here. I love it. So I used my Castle Art gold pencils. As you can see, I had them out, so while I was using them on one page, I just kept picking them up and using them on other pages that I was working on as well. So yeah, Castle Art gold pencils. So I really love some of the muted colours they've got in that set. I did some gel pen details, and then in the background I used some metallic gel crayons that I've got at the top and bottom, and then Languo gel pen to go over the raindrops, so it doesn't look realistic, but that's not the look I was going for. I really love the colour palette I went for on this. I think it turned out great. And then that was a buddy with Hannah at Hanna Colouring over on Instagram. Her page, I've had kind of an update on it, but I've not had the finished picture from her, but it's looking brilliantly. It just looks so pretty. And then I've got Colourful State of Mind was the other buddy. So it was nice to have two buddies on this page. And her page turned out brilliantly as well. She got hers done way before me and was very patient again while I caught up. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun buddy colouring with both of you. And yeah, it's nice to get a page done in this book, because I've not coloured on it for a while. So thank you to both my buddies, and obviously I'll make sure I share both of their pages. So then may as well stick with Hanna Karlzon. Of course, I just had to get the new Halloween one by Hanna Karlzon. I probably should have waited to get the English edition and not pay a small fortune on postage, but you know, I was a bit impatient. I'd seen so many, you know, sneak peeks of it, and I thought, I need it for this year. So I got this one done. I mean, technically it is a committee page, even though it is minute. So I did that as soon as I got the book, just to have a play. Papers, obviously lovely as it always is. So I actually used my Faber-Castell Black Edition pencils on that just to see how they'd work. So I thought, with it being small and fiddly, I wanted a pencil that was a little bit harder. So obviously there's not a lot to say about that page. Then I've also done the Book Belongs To page. I really like how this one turned out. This was so quick to do. I just used my Inktense pencils, picked like a deep bluey colour for the hand, a browny grey colour there, and then a purple. And what I did is I activated that, then I did the brown, and then I went in and did the purple. And instead of dabbing my water brush off on a bit of scrap paper or tissue, as I was doing the purple bit, I just went and kind of cleaned my brush off into the hand. So you'll notice there's just a very subtle little bit of purple added in there on the skin. And I love that extra little touch. I wasn't sure if it was going to turn out okay, or if it had ended up being too purple or wouldn't even be noticeable. But I think it just looks really pretty. And then I went in with a gel pen just for the little dots that were on there. So really, really quick and simple, but I always like trying to get my title pages done. I know I've still got a few books that I haven't done the title pages in, so I do wonder whether 1 month I just set myself the challenge of trying to get them done. I don't know. So more buddy colours. This was definitely the month of buddy colours, which has been great. That is why I kind of set up my YouTube channel, was to get in touch with people. So we've got this one, which this was a buddy colour. Let me just have a flip through. Here we are. So this one was a buddy colour with Deb over at Deb E Mixed Media on Instagram. I'll put her picture in here. I love it. We both kind of had the same idea of doing like a glow from the lamp, but I love her glow. She was so much bolder and brighter. Both kind of went for purple-ish bats, but again, hers was just so much bolder and brighter, and I just love how it turned out. So thank you for the buddy. So I'll tell you about what I used on mine. So I used Inktense pencils for everything, gel pens for kind of the, you know, all the sparkly bits on the lantern. I did think about using paint, and then I thought, I don't know, it seemed like an awful lot to paint and a little bit fiddly, so I just picked out my Pentel dual hybrid gel pens there, and I love the sparkle it gives. And then I used some gel crayons for the background. Now, I wasn't completely pleased with how the background turned out. I must admit, I've not used the black before, but it wasn't so much the black as I thought my brush that I was using was dry. And then as I put it on, I realised it was a little bit damp. So that, yeah, didn't quite turn out as smooth as it usually does. I let it dry, you know, made sure the page was dry, made sure the brush was dry, went in with another layer, but yeah, it's fixed it a little bit, but especially up at the top, I don't know, it's not quite as nice as I'd hoped, but I do quite like how the darkness makes it look a little bit moody. Obviously, I did add a little bit of glow in round the lantern. I did that with just Inktense pencils. I used the same yellow that I had on the little toads, the frogs. I don't know, I'm going with toads, flying toads. So I did a little touch of yellow on their belly, so I used that yellow for the glow. Then obviously went in with some silver gel pen and white gel pen as well on the candle. So I do quite like it in the end, and it is such a cool page. And yeah, it was great to do another buddy. So thank you, Deb, for the buddy. Let me put my tissue wax paper back in. I will link this down in the description because I know sometimes people ask about this. It's so pretty, it's relatively inexpensive, and for most books it's kind of just about the right size as well, and it just really helps protect your pages. So then we've got another buddy colour here, and this one was with a lovely Dawn over on Instagram of Colouring by Dawn. I'll insert her picture here. Hers turned out so pretty. She kind of went a bit simple, not overcomplicated like I went for, because I don't think you need it with this. I think it's such a pretty image and so unusual. It's kind of nice to let the illustration stand out, but I love the extra sparkle that she added and the really pretty colour palette. So thank you, Dawn, for the buddy. So you will have, if you've been watching my channel, you will have seen me doing the background bit on a Winging It Wednesday video. I think it was episode 3 I did this in. So I used my gouache paint that I picked up at Five Below in the summer. I just drew very carefully with a pencil and rule, added the border in, because I just thought I didn't want to do the whole background, but I thought I wanted a bit of something just to make the pretty light coloured skulls pop off the page a little bit. And I really like how it turned out, actually. I did do 2 layers, but it didn't take too long. So I'm really pleased with how that turned out. And I didn't mix the colour, I just used the colour straight out of the pot. So I thoroughly recommend these paints if you don't have them already. And if you're in America, you have a Five Below near you, I thoroughly recommend picking up some of these paints because they were only $5. Get 20 paints and they're amazing. I really like them. I think for the price you can't go wrong. There's so much paint in them, and it is a well-made product as well. Like the lid fits on really nicely. Yeah, definitely recommend them. So check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. So for the actual skulls, I used my Castle Art Harmonious pencils, because I wanted kind of a pretty but muted kind of colour palette. And then I tried something a little bit different and used some acrylic markers for colouring in all of the little mushrooms and the flowers. Now I do have one of the big sets, but the set that I decided to use was these ones, because they've got obviously some like brownies and pink kind of colours. And I love them. And like, they're really nice. And I took them downstairs with me, sat on the sofa, chatted to my daughter. Didn't take long at all. So yeah, I used them to colour all of the mushrooms and the weird little flowers and even the little bug. So that was relatively simple to do once I'd actually got round to it. So again, thank you for my buddy being a bit patient with me, because as you can see, I didn't get it done until the 29th. I was cutting it fine, but I'm really pleased that I managed to get a few pages done out of this book. Hopefully I will colour in this before next October, because there are some pages in here that are a bit less Halloween-y. Some obviously a bit more so, but some are just a little bit spooky, a little bit creepy. There's obviously pumpkins on that. For me, if it's got a pumpkin on, it just makes me think of October and Halloween. But then like that one with the weird little mushrooms and the weird little slugs with the wings, that's just a bit different, isn't it? So yeah, hopefully I'll get into that book before next October. So then we've got Lulu's House of Wonder. Again, this was another one that was uncoloured. I picked this one up while I was on holiday in the summer. So I've got a couple of buddies in this one. So one page was here with the little fox, which I think is probably one of my favourite pages out of the entire book. I love foxes, and I think the expression on the face is just brilliant. It just looks so sweet. So I used my Ohuhu Honolulu brush markers to colour all of this. Little bit of gel pen, as you can see. I managed to just smudge it a little bit because, you know, I thought it was dry. I managed to put my hand in it, but there we go. And the colour palette that I used was one that was shared by Zoe over at, I think it's Zoe's Colouring Corner. I'll link her down in the description below. You're going to know who I'm on about. She's lovely. And she shared on her Instagram a few different colour palettes. So I picked one. matched my markers to it as best as I could, and then used just those colours to colour that page, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. So this page was a buddy with Patricia over on Instagram, Mama Bear 711. I think. I can't read my handwriting. I do apologise if I've said that wrong. So I'll include a picture of theirs here. As you can see, there's the latest picture I've got. It isn't quite finished, but they started way before me, and I think their colour palette just looks so sweet, like so different from mine, and I'm really excited to see how their page comes together in the end. So thank you very much for that, Buddy, because it's been nice to get into this book. And what I love about this is obviously it's Lulu's usual cute and whimsical style, but it's single-sided. And even though it is quite thin lines, my alcohol markers worked really nicely on this paper. Obviously it went slightly patchy on the large areas, but you can see it worked just fine, even with the little thin lines. It didn't seep, it didn't like bleed past the lines at all. So I was really pleased with that. So then I did this page. This again was a buddy. And again, I used this colour palette. I think I started this page first actually with this colour palette, and then thought, right, well, I've got the markers out. Let's do another page with them. So really like how this turned out. A bit different. Like if I was to do this page again, which I won't because I'm not one for colouring pages twice, I don't know whether I would go for that colour palette, but I do like the fact that I tried something a little bit different. So again, it was my Ohuhu markers for everything, and then a little bit of silver gel pen here and there for details, and I added some little dots just in on the black background as well. So yeah, as you can see, so much alcohol marker. So I got to one point where I was like, right, I started with, the lemons, but obviously coloured them orange. I'd put the glow in, and then I was like, oh, I kind of just kept chipping away at it. And eventually I think it came together okay. Interesting colour choice for the broom. But yeah, it's nice to try something different. So this buddy colour was with two people. So the wonderful My Colouring Nook, I think it's been a couple of buddies that we've done together now. And then we've also got Sarah over on Instagram. I will link her details down below. I think her Instagram's Sarah's Colouring, I think, off the top of my head. Forgot to write that bit down. But both of their pages turned out so pretty and so different. Like all three of our pages look so different. We've got one with a very autumnal colour palette that looks really pretty and kind of a bit vintagey. And then we've got the other one that it's a bit like mine in that it's nice and bright and bold, but just, yeah, so different. So 3 pages started out the same and again, turned out so differently. That is the joy of buddy colours, isn't it? So it was great to get some pages done in here. As you can see, I have been through and coloured the little girl on all the pages with the hair and the skin. So when I do come in and colour some more in this, which hopefully I will do soon, I've already made a start on most of the pages, and I think I've got a buddy colour. I think we're thinking possibly December for this one, because although I do want to try and get to all my uncoloured books by Christmas, also it'll be nice to colour in some kind of favourites as well. So then we've got another buddy colour. So this is the Polar Bears Adventure Cruise, I think this one's called, and the page I did was this kind of title page to like the Halloween section. As you can see, it got some shiny paint going on the moon and the little border bit. And I used my Black Widow pencils actually to colour all of this. And I love how it came out. Used some gel pen. It didn't quite get rid of all of the lines, but I used my Langro gel pen on the pumpkins just to soften the lines a little bit. Add a little bit of an extra highlight in. I ummed and ahed over whether to paint the stripes, because when I did this page, I did paint the stripes. But I kind of thought, I don't know. I couldn't decide what colour. So I've decided just to leave that as grey, because I think actually that kind of goes with the feel of the page. And, you know, there's obviously grey in the little path and that bit down there. So yeah, I decided against adding any extra bling to that page. So again, my buddies were very patient with me and they got mine finished on the 29th. So my buddies for this one, I've got 2 buddies. We've got Kate over at Kate's Colouring Pages, so definitely check her YouTube out, and then also Lean 3 Crafts again on YouTube. So I'll put both of their pages on here. Again, we all started with the same page, and again, they turned out so differently, especially Lean 3 Crafts page. Theirs is amazing. Like, obviously they've gone for a wicked, you know, Alphabet Glinda kind of vibe with the different colours on each half, and that looks so cool. And then Kate's Colouring Pages went a little bit more kind of, I don't know about traditional is the right word, but, you know, not quite as experimental. But their page again turned out very differently to mine, and I love the colours that they picked. I think it looks so pretty. So thank you to both of you for the buddy colour. Just that I'd mention as well, the paints that I've used here are from Archie's Paints over on Etsy. I believe their shop is going to be shutting once they've cleared out all their stock. And last time I looked at their Etsy shop, they had got a sale on. I don't know whether that's still on while they try and clear out everything. And I've got loads of random little samples from them, because you can buy like mystery bags of samples. So I've got like loads of different little samples. So sometimes if I'm colouring a bit on a page and it is only a little bit and I know I won't need a load of paint, I love using those, because they're a nice way to expand your colour range of your paints without committing to, you know, massive bits that you know that you won't necessarily use. So yeah, it was great to get another page done in this book, because it is so adorable. Like, all the pages are just amazing. Some are obviously incredibly detailed. Some are a little bit simpler, but yeah, absolutely gorgeous book. A lovely paper as well, as it always is in these Japanese colouring books. This is almost my last buddy now. So this one was a very recent finish, and it's this one. So this one will be coming out as a Winging It Wednesday video this coming Wednesday, if you're watching this kind of video just as soon as it comes out. If not, it'll obviously already be up on the channel. So I used my Ohuhu Honolulu markers for all of it, and I used a stencil. So I took inspiration from Jade Summer, because I've seen a few times they've used like a star or a heart, or they've just like split the page into sections, or all sorts of ways of doing it, and colouring one bit one way and another the other. So I thought, although this isn't a Halloween page, maybe I can make it look a little bit spooky. So I went for a heart, tried to make sure that all of the puppy was in as best as I could. So obviously coloured that nice and colourful, tried to stick with very limited colours, a little bit Halloween vibe with the orange and the purple, I thought. And then just used 4 different grey markers in the outside bit, and then some acrylic marker dots to go around the edge, because without them it just, I don't know, it didn't really pop. But I think adding those dots in really has made a big difference. Just bring it up so you can see them a little bit better. So if you want to see the process of me doing this, check out the Winging It Wednesday. I think that'll be episode 4, which either, you know, will be coming out, or if you're watching this video a few days after it's out, obviously it'll already be up on the channel. So please subscribe, you know, so you don't miss out videos where I give things a go and hope for the best. So yeah, this was a buddy, and this one was with the wonderful Plan, Create, Escape over on Instagram. And I love it. Like, yeah, I think it's so pretty. And I'll share their page here. I know they said they weren't quite happy with how their puppy's fur was turning out and they might change it, but I think their page is looking amazing. Like, so different from mine, coloured slightly more, you know, obviously they've actually coloured the whole picture. I feel like I kind of cheated a little bit with doing the grey, because it was quite quick to do actually. But yeah, I love how their page turned out. And it was really fun to do another buddy colour. So thank you very much for that. And obviously thank you for being patient, because, you know, I didn't get it done till the 29th. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think it looks quite different from the look on the back. Yeah, it looks a bit weird, doesn't it? So yeah, it was lovely to get a page done in this book, because the only ones I've done before were just kind of more like the intro pages at the start. As you can see, I've made a note of the colours that I've used for the little characters there, so that I can just do them the same all the way through the book and save them a bit of thinking. And then I think this one is then my last buddy. So we've got Matchstick Mouse and Autumn Colouring Book. And I think I'd only done one page in this book before, which would have been last year. That page there. So in my plans, I just shared, right, I'm just going to do the next page, because I looked through the book, couldn't quite decide which to do, and then thought, tell you what, I'll just go for the very next page. That's the easiest way of working it out. Did do this right at the start of the month. So I just used alcohol markers. I don't think I even used my... Oh no, I did use my Ohuhu ones. I thought I'd used my kind of cheap ones that I got off TikTok shop, you know, my first set, but no, I did use my Ohuhus. Tried to add a little bit of shading in here and there on some of the elements of the page with my marker. Did a tiny bit of pencil shading on the mouse just to deepen it up a tiny little bit here and there. White gel pen, and then did come in with a black gel pen. It's got a little bit of sparkle for the little spider. I couldn't decide what to do for the stamp, and then I thought, hang on a minute, I've already got the hat coloured, because one thing I did when I got the book was I went through and coloured the mouse on all the pages and coloured their hat the same. So I thought, actually, I brought some of that blue across into the stamp just to balance it a bit, and I think that turned out really nicely. So my buddy colour is with All J Art on YouTube. Definitely go and check her channel out. She's very talented. I love her videos. So her page, obviously it's an autumn page. There's going to be a bit of similarities kind of in the colour. But yeah, I just love her approach to the page. I think it just looks so sweet, doesn't it? Like Matchstick Mouse. I guess it's, I always say he, but actually I think it is a girl, isn't it, from what Morgan O'Brien said. I believe anyway, from what other people have said on their channels. So yeah, thank you very much for the buddy. I know we've got another one set up soon, so I look forward to that one as well. So yeah, like I said, I'll try and link everybody I can down in the description below, their Instagram and YouTube, so that you can check them out. So now we're onto the pages that aren't buddies, which doesn't actually leave all that many pages, to be honest, because most of them were buddies this month. So we've got Jade Summer again here with Spooky Moments, and I did this one. This one I did on my members only live stream. So if you're interested in finding out more about my memberships, if you click the join button on my YouTube channel, it doesn't automatically sign you up. It just means that you can have a read through what the different levels offer and see which one you think might be right for you. So kind of went a little bit limited on the colours, but as you can see, I did try and add a little bit of a glow effect in round, kind of from the lightning. I did a little bit there, and obviously from like the little potions and things. So I really love the colours that I went for on this page. I think it looks really cool. And then I went in with some gel pen, the Langwo wand, just to add a few little dots, because it just looked, there was just a bit too much darkness in the background, and I just think that just makes it look a little bit more alive. So yeah, I love how that one came out. So yeah, just alcohol markers, nice, quick and simple, but a lot of fun. Like I said, that one was on a members only live stream, that one. Then this one was done on my kind of regular Monday night live stream. This was an uncoloured book, so it was nice to get into this. Now, this book isn't single-sided, so as you can see, give you a bit of an idea what I coloured. So I did this one. So this was a lot of fun to do. So alcohol markers, and then I couldn't decide whether to colour the ghosts and leave the outline around the characters white, or whether to colour the outline and leave the ghost white. As you can see, decided to leave the ghost white. That was a suggestion from people on my live stream. We were toying about with different options, and they're like, oh, put a bit of sparkle around the edge, and I really love how that came out. So I used one of my Pentel dual metallic gel pens for the background, and I just love that. It was so quick and simple, but really, really sweet, really fun to do. Like I said, it isn't a single-sided book, but I knew that the image on the back isn't one that I'd be bothered about colouring, so I decided to sacrifice it so that I could use my alcohol markers. So that's the Disney Halloween colouring book. And then we've got Camilla Derrico's Catitude colouring book. And I did this page. So this one is for my members only live stream video. Members only video, not live stream, just the normal monthly one. And I just used Inktense for all of the cat and their bread and their eyes, bit of gel crayons for the background, and then as you can see from the shine on their eyes, put a little bit of glossy accents. And that's all I did. I wanted to show in the video just how quick and simple it can be to get one of these pages coloured. Because although you might think looking at her artwork, oh, that looks really intimidating, there's a lot of space. Actually, because there is a lot of space, sometimes that can make it a bit quicker depending on what mediums you use. So as you can see, I didn't bother adding like texture in, adding fur, making it look realistic, but I still think that turned out such a cute page. And yeah, really fun to do that one. And that was an uncoloured book, so I'm really pleased that I've got a page done in it now. Then this page was done right at the start of the month as part of my Winging It Wednesday videos, my first ever Winging It Wednesday videos. So I just used watercolour paints for everything, and then just a little bit of gel pen there on the ring, and a bit of white gel pen and silver there, and that was it. Like, it's not gone through. As you can see, it has left the page a little bit crinkled, but I don't mind that, and I kind of like the sound it gives as well. So that was a lot of fun to do, and surprisingly quick and easy. I was a bit nervous to start with because I've never done too much with watercolours before. I've only really used it for colouring in backgrounds, not actually colouring in the main elements. So I'm really pleased with how that came out. And yeah, that was done right at the start of the month on the 3rd. You almost forget sometimes, don't you, what you got done each month. So yeah, I love how that one came out. So that was Imaginary Friends by Karolina Kubikowska, nearly there. So then this is the only page that I did as part of the prompts. So I did this page. So this was the page that Christina over at Christina's Art Corner has got picked out for October. So as you see, literally, I only just finished this morning. So I used alcohol markers to base most of it, as you can see, and then went in with some Sakura, kind of glittery gel pens, and then some watercolor paint on the extra shiny kind of sparkles. That was the Renaissance color paint there. From their Chrome Pop set. And yeah, I love how this turned out. I ummed and ahed over a background, and then I couldn't decide on a colour, so I'm just going to leave it at that. It might be I had a background in a later date, but probably not. I say that sometimes and then I never do, but I love the sparkle. So yeah, that was really quick and simple to do. I still need to go back and colour the little characters at the start because I think they were picked out for August, and I didn't manage to get them done. But I have managed to do September's page and October's page, so I'm really pleased about that because I was beginning to think I wouldn't get to it. So yeah, check out Christina's channel. Again, I'll link her down in the description below. And then the last page that I've got to share with you is from Alan Roberts' Beauty of Horror Haunted Holiday. So this one is a little bit more gory. So if you're not into that, thank you for watching so far. Maybe drop a heart down in the comment. Let me know which is your favourite page. If you don't mind a bit of gore, then I'll show you what I've done. So I did this one. So I use my Ohuhu markers here. I used my original set with the chisel and the fine tip. So I thought actually there was a lot of little fiddly bits. There was only really a little bit where it was a bit larger. So I used my chisel tip end there. And yeah, I really love how that came out. Daughter helped me pick in the colour for the dress because I kind of did the pumpkin and I did the skin. Then I was looking and I was like, I don't know what colour dress do I do? Do a green, purple? She looked through and went, use that blue. And actually, I really think that was a great choice by her. She's got a very good eye for colour because then obviously I could bring some of that blue across into some of the sweets on the side and at the bottom. So yeah, just alcohol markers, not even any gel pen or anything on this one. I really like how this turned out. And because this book is single-sided, unlike his other books, yeah, it gives you that freedom to use alcohol markers. So this was pretty quick to do, actually. Again, I ummed and ahed over what to do for a background, and then I thought, why do a background? I'm just going to leave it as it is. This obviously isn't a cute and cozy book, but I'm going to kind of treat it as that in terms of just using alcohol markers, maybe a few gel pens, but I'm not going to worry about adding backgrounds in. I mean, obviously some pages it might be that I can add a background in a bit easier, like this one's got a border on it. But yeah, I'm really pleased. This was an uncoloured book, so I'm really pleased that I got a page done in it. Hopefully I'll get another one done. I mean, maybe out the Christmas section for November and December. We'll see. I do prefer the Halloweeny pages, I must admit, rather than the Christmassy ones, but we'll see. So yeah, it was great to get another uncoloured book ticked off my list. So let me know which is your favourite page for this month. I can't decide, to be honest. I had such a lot of fun doing each of them, and there's so many different sorts of pages I've done this month. Obviously cute and cosy ones, some where I've spent quite a while working with pencil, massive variety this month, and obviously massive thank you to all of my buddies, especially for being so patient with me while I got my pages done. So thank you very much for watching me. If you've got to the end and you're not subscribed, obviously please click that subscribe button and perhaps drop like a Halloween emoji in, you know, pumpkin or ghost or something, so that I know that you've watched right to the end. Thank you for joining me again, and take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.